Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Glad to be here.
Today we're looking at ways to help you feel more confident using English in your everyday life.
Sounds good.
Our jumping off point is this fantastic resource called English Practice for Real-Life Situations.
It's a good one.
Yeah, and I think it'll give us a lot to talk about today.
Definitely.
So let's dive in and see how it can help us navigate those sometimes tricky situations we all encounter.
Okay, so what really stands out to me about this resource
Yeah.
is that it focuses on clear and simple language that anyone can use.
Yeah, it does. It really breaks things down
Right.
into manageable chunks, and it doesn't overwhelm you with a ton of grammar rules or vocabulary.
Exactly. It's all about giving you the tools you need to communicate effectively in real-world situations.
Exactly. Okay, so let's start with the classic.
Okay,
Meeting someone new, those first impressions can be so important.
absolutely. They can make or break a conversation.
So how do you get past those initial, high and low moments
Right.
and really spark a conversation?
Well, this guide emphasizes the importance of showing genuine interest in the other person. It sounds simple, but it makes a world of difference. Instead of just exchanging names and moving on,
Right.
try asking a follow-up question.
I like that.
Something as simple as, where are you from?
Oh, well, that's a good one.
You can really open up a conversation.
Yeah, that's a great tip. And it reminds me of something else they mentioned in the resource,
Okay.
which is adapting your language to the situation. Like in a formal setting, you might say, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Right?
But in a more casual setting, a simple, hi, I'm your name, works perfectly fine.
Exactly. It's all about reading the room and adjusting your approach accordingly.
Yeah, and even though these phrases seem really basic,
Yeah,
having them ready can really boost your confidence in those initial moments of meeting someone new.
for sure. It takes the pressure off.
Okay, so speaking of confidence, let's move on to another situation where you might need a little boost.
Okay.
Shopping.
Oh, yeah.
Who hasn't felt a bit lost?
Yeah.
Trying to find the right size or ask about a price in a foreign language?
It can be intimidating,
Yeah.
for sure.
This resource offers some great phrases for navigating those situations.
Like what kind of phrases?
Like, excuse me, do you have this in a larger size?
Okay.
Or could you tell me how much this costs?
Those are good.
Yeah, and beyond just the phrases themselves,
Mhm.
the resource also touches on the importance of being polite and using appropriate language.
Right.
Starting with, excuse me, and ending with thank you can go a long way
It really can.
in making a good impression.
Yeah, those little courtesies make a difference.
Yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
it makes me think
Yeah.
sometimes it's not just about knowing the words, but also understanding the cultural nuances too.
Absolutely. Different cultures have different communication styles.
Right.
So being sensitive to those differences is really important.
Okay, so imagine this. You've found the perfect souvenir,
Okay.
but you've wandered a bit too far and suddenly realize you're completely lost.
Oh.
Asking for directions can be so tricky.
It can be, especially if you're not familiar with the area
Right, and you're feeling flustered.
and you're in a hurry.
Exactly. In those moments when you're feeling a bit stressed,
Yeah.
having those simple phrases ready can be a lifesaver.
For sure, for sure.
The resource suggests something like,
Yeah.
excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
could you tell me how to get to a landmark or location?
Mm-hmm.
It's clear, it's concise, and it's polite.
It gets the job done.
It does. Plus, they suggest using landmarks
Oh, yeah.
or specific street names if that helps you explain where you need to go.
Right. Sometimes that's easier than trying to describe the location itself.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to use gestures
Yeah.
or even draw a little map if that helps get your point across.
Absolutely. Visual aids can be really helpful.
Okay, so we've tackled meeting new people, shopping, and asking for directions.
So far, so good.
Now let's move on to something a bit more enjoyable.
That's good.
Ordering at a restaurant.
I like where this is going.
After all, experiencing new cuisines is one of the best parts of traveling or even just exploring your own city.
Absolutely. It's a feast for the senses.
And it's a fantastic opportunity to practice your English in a real-world setting.
Right. You're interacting with native speakers.
Exactly. This resource provides a really clear roadmap.
I like that. A roadmap?
Yeah, for navigating that interaction.
Okay.
It starts with a simple greeting like, hello, I'd like to order, please.
That's a good start.
And then it walks you through placing your order, asking for drinks, and even politely declining additional offers.
So it covers all the bases.
It does. I like how they emphasize keeping things concise and straightforward.
Give me an example.
Like, I'll have the pasta dish, please,
Okay.
and a glass of water, thank you.
Very clear and to the point.
Exactly. It's all about communicating your needs effectively.
Right.
And as you get more comfortable, you can start adding in extra phrases like asking about the specials or requesting the bill.
Right, you can build from there.
So speaking of getting more comfortable, let's switch gears to something that can be a bit of a social minefield.
What's that?
Making small talk.
Oh, yeah, small talk.
It's something we all do, but sometimes it feels a bit awkward, especially when you're trying to do it in a different language.
It can be a challenge for sure.
This resource has a clever approach to small talk.
Oh, tell me more.
They suggest using the weather as a universal conversation starter.
The weather.
Yeah, everyone can relate to it.
That's true.
They suggest starting with a simple observation like,
Okay.
it's such a beautiful day today, isn't it?
I like it.
Then you can transition into a question like,
Sure.
do you enjoy sunny weather?
It's a good way to keep the conversation going.
It is. It's such a simple but effective strategy.
Simple but effective. I like that.
And it makes me think,
What about it?
what other topics could you use as small talk starters?
Well, it depends on the context.
Yeah.
If you're at a party, you could comment on the music or the food.
Okay.
If you're at a conference, you could talk about the speakers or the topics being discussed.
Right.
It's all about finding common ground
Yeah.
and using it as a springboard for conversation.
I like that. Okay, last but not least, let's tackle a situation that can feel a bit intimidating, especially over the phone.
Okay, lay it on me.
Booking a hotel room.
Ah, yes, that one.
There are so many details to cover,
There are.
and you want to make sure you get everything right.
Definitely.
This resource breaks down the process into a series of simple steps.
Okay, tell me more.
It starts with a clear statement of your purpose.
Got it.
Hello, I'd like to book a room, please.
Makes sense.
Then it walks you through specifying the dates, the type of room you need, and any other preferences you might have.
So it's like a step-by-step guide.
It is, and they encourage you to ask questions, too.
Oh, that's important.
Like inquiring about room amenities, check-in and check-out times,
Okay.
or even requesting a specific floor or view.
Yeah, you have the right to ask for what you need.
Exactly. They really empower you to take control of the situation.
I like that, taking control.
Yeah, and even though it's a phone conversation,
Right.
being polite and using phrases like please and thank you can make a big difference in how you're perceived.
It shows respect.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've talked about meeting new people,
Mm-hmm.
shopping,
Yep.
asking for directions,
We did.
ordering at a restaurant, making small talk, and even booking a hotel room.
Phew, that's a lot.
What stands out to you from these real-life scenarios and the phrases provided?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question.
And what about you, listener?
Yeah, what's resonating with you so far? Well, I think what really strikes me
Yeah.
is how this resource emphasizes the power of simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be a grammar expert or have a massive vocabulary to communicate effectively.
Right.
These simple, everyday phrases delivered with confidence and courtesy
Yeah.
can really help you navigate a wide range of situations.
That's so true. It's encouraging to know that you don't have to strive for perfection right from the start.
Exactly. In fact, the resource encourages you to embrace those little stumbles along the way.
Oh, yeah.
They recommend recording yourself speaking English.
Recording yourself.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. I think sometimes you don't realize how you sound until you hear yourself speaking.
Exactly. It can be a little daunting at first,
Yeah.
but it's a fantastic way to identify areas where you might need to work on your pronunciation or fluency.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, you can listen back and track your progress.
Oh, for sure.
It's incredibly motivating to hear yourself improving.
That's a good point. And it can help you get more comfortable with the sound of your own voice speaking English,
Right.
which can be a big confidence booster.
Huge. And the resource even suggests practicing with a friend or a language partner.
Oh, I like that.
That way you can get real-time feedback and support.
That's so important. Having that supportive learning environment can make a huge difference.
Yeah, it's like having a cheerleader in your corner encouraging you to keep going, even when you feel a bit discouraged.
Definitely. And, speaking of encouragement,
Yeah.
one thing I really appreciate about this resource
What's that?
is that it doesn't just focus on the practical side of language learning. It also addresses the emotional side.
Oh, that's interesting.
It talks about the importance of building confidence and not being afraid to make mistakes.
That's huge. I think a lot of people get stuck because they're so worried about making mistakes that they're afraid to speak at all.
Right, exactly. And it can be paralyzing.
It can be, and this resource really encourages you to shift your perspective.
How so?
Instead of viewing mistakes as failures,
Mm-hmm.
view them as stepping stones to fluency.
I like that.
each time you make a mistake,
Yeah.
you're actually getting closer to your goal.
That's beautifully said. And remember, even native English speakers make mistakes sometimes.
Oh, all the time. It's all part of the process.
So it seems like this resource provides a fantastic foundation for anyone looking to improve their everyday English.
I think so.
It gives you the tools to communicate effectively, encourage practice, and emphasizes the importance of confidence building.
It covers all the bases.
What do you think, listener?
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Do you feel like you're starting to get a better grasp of how to navigate those real-life situations?
Yeah. Are things starting to click a little bit?
You know, as we're talking about this,
Yeah.
it makes me realize that this resource doesn't just apply to people learning English as a second language.
Oh, that's interesting. What do you mean?
Well, the principles of clear communication, active listening,
Okay.
and adapting your language to this situation
Mm-hmm.
apply to all of us, regardless of our language background,
You're right. We could all benefit from brushing up on our communication skills.
even in our native language.
Exactly. So thinking back to your original goal
Yeah.
of feeling more confident using English,
Mm-hmm.
what aspects of this resource do you think will be most helpful for you personally?
That's a good question.
And listener, what's resonating with you?
Yeah.
What are you eager to put into practice?
I think for me, the biggest takeaway is the emphasis on simplicity and clarity.
Okay.
It's a reminder that you don't need to overcomplicate things. Just focus on communicating your message in a way that's easy for the other person to understand.
That's such a valuable lesson, and it's
Yeah.
something we can all apply in our daily lives,
Yeah.
whether we're speaking English or any other language.
For sure. And what's really exciting is that this resource has given us a taste of just how much we can achieve
Yeah.
with a little effort and a positive attitude.
It's inspiring.
It is. It's just the beginning of your language learning adventure.
There's so much more to explore.
There's so many more situations to explore, so many more skills to develop.
Think about those interactions that make you a little nervous.
Yeah.
Or the scenarios where you wish you had the perfect phrase at your fingertips.
What other real-life situations would you like to feel more confident handling in English?
Maybe it's giving a presentation at work, navigating a business meeting, or even just having a deeper conversation with a friend or colleague.
Those are great examples. And you know what's so wonderful about language is that it's constantly evolving.
It is.
There's always something new to learn, a new expression, to discover a new way to connect with others.
That's what keeps it interesting.
So true.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lifelong journey, and the more you embrace it, the more rewarding it becomes. It's like opening a door to a whole new world.
It really is.
And remember, you don't have to go it alone.
That's right. There are so many resources available to support you.
There are.
Online courses, language exchange partners, supportive communities, you name it. There's a whole world out there ready to help you succeed.
And even just immersing yourself in English language media can make a huge difference.
Oh, absolutely.
Watching movies, listening to music, reading books.
It all adds up.
It all adds up.
Exposing yourself to the language as much as possible is key.
And don't forget the power of practice.
Right.
Every conversation, every interaction is a chance to learn and grow.
That's the beauty of it. It's a continuous process.
Yeah.
The more you put yourself out there, the more confident and fluent you'll become.
So to our listener,
Yeah.
we encourage you to keep exploring, keep practicing,
Keep pushing yourself.
and keep pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. The world of English awaits.
It does.
And with each step you take, you'll become more confident, more fluent, and more connected.
Beautifully said. And who knows, maybe someday you'll be sharing your own tips and insights with others,
Oh, that's a great thought.
inspiring them to embark on their own language learning adventures.
So keep those conversations flowing, keep those connections growing, and never stop exploring the incredible power of language.
Until next time.